So as a pal, I've decided to donate your missing push-ups to you.
Most men at 58 are managing pain, managing medications, managing the slow, quiet negotiation with a body that used to do more and now does less. This man is not managing anything. He is training with a former Navy SEAL, 6 days a week. Workouts he has described, in his own words, as brutal, nauseating, a nightmare, horrible. And every single one of those words came before a word we cannot say on this channel. His name is Jason Statham. Born July 26, 1967. 58 years old. One of the most physically extraordinary men in Hollywood history, not because of genetics or luck or a pharmaceutical shortcut, but because of a system so disciplined, so specific, so ruthlessly effective that it dropped 17 pounds of fat from his body in 6 weeks and built a physique that has never softened in the 30 years since. Before he was an actor, he was an athlete. 12 years in Britain's national swimming squad, competed in the 1990 Commonwealth Games, a professional whose relationship with his own body was built on performance first and appearance as a byproduct. That foundation never left. Today, Senior Spring Vitality gives you everything. The exact diet, the complete weekly training system, the 8 rules he has lived by for decades, and the one mindset principle that separates his approach from every other celebrity fitness story you have ever heard. Before we dive in, grab the free cookbook guide from the pinned comment. Real recipes, real food. Drop your country in the comments. Where are you watching from? Because this community is global and this story belongs to every person in it. Stay with us, because the diet detail at minute 6, the specific 17-pound transformation protocol, is the part most channels covering Statham never tell you completely. Let's go. Before the workout. Before the diet. Before the Navy SEAL trainer and the brutal 6-day training weeks. You need to understand who Jason Statham actually is underneath the Hollywood action star image, because most people know him from The Transporter, The Mechanic, The Expendables, the Fast and Furious franchise, roles built around a physical presence so undeniable that the films themselves are secondary to the man moving through them. But fewer people know the story underneath that image. Jason Statham grew up in Shirebrook, Derbyshire, England. He was not born into wealth or privilege or access to elite training facilities. He was born into a household where his father was a street trader and a lounge singer, and where physical discipline was not a lifestyle choice. It was simply how life was approached. He started boxing at 13. Not as a hobby, as a practice. The way you practice something you intend to be good at. He spent 12 years in Britain's national swimming squad. 12 years of elite competitive training. The kind of training that builds not just a body, but a relationship with physical discipline that most people never develop and never lose once they have it. He competed in the 1990 Commonwealth Games as a diver. He modeled for French Connection, Levi's, and Tommy Hilfiger. He sold jewelry on street markets in London. And then Guy Ritchie cast him in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels in 1998. Not because he was an actor, but because he was someone who moved through the world with an authenticity that could not be faked on screen. He has said it himself. I'm not an actor, really. I just got into this by being at the right place at the right time. I accept what I'm confident at and just try and go with the flow in that direction. That honesty, that complete absence of pretension about what he is and what he is not, is the same quality that defines his approach to fitness. He does not train to look good in a mirror. He trains to perform. He trains to move. He trains to be ready for whatever a role or a stunt or a physical challenge requires of him. And the body that philosophy has built at 58 is the most compelling advertisement for that approach that exists anywhere in Hollywood. Here is the complete system behind it. 8 rules before the workout breakdown, before the diet detail, because without understanding the The practical system makes no sense. Rule 1. Routine kills progress. Statham never repeats a workout. Every session is different. Every week introduces movements his body has not done in that combination before. The body adapts to repeated stimulus and stops responding to it. Statham never gives it long enough to adapt. Rule 2. Strength, agility, and mobility equally. Not just mass, not just lifting heavy. The ability to move, explosively, fluidly, in any direction, is as important as raw strength. His training builds all three simultaneously. Rule 3. 30 to 40 minutes maximum. Not 2-hour sessions, not marathon gym days. Short, intense. Every minute working, no wasted time, no socializing, no rest periods longer than necessary. Rule 4. Shock the muscles constantly. His own words, if you don't shock the muscles, you don't grow. Muscle confusion is not a fitness marketing term for Statham. It is a daily operating principle. Rule 5. Functional fitness over mirror fitness. Combat training. Kettlebell work. Olympic lifts. Movements that translate into real physical capability, rather than movements that simply build visible muscle. Rule 6. Core is the foundation of everything. Not crunches, hanging leg raises, ab rollouts, rotational movements. A core so strong and stable that every other movement in the body is anchored by it. Rule 7. The 80-20 rule. 80% of every session focuses on performance. 20% on aesthetics. The aesthetic result is the byproduct of performance training, not the goal. Rule 8. Train like an athlete, not a bodybuilder. Performance and efficiency. Not the biggest lift in the room, the most functional body in any situation. 8 rules, every session, every day, for 30 years. The 17-pound transformation in 6 weeks, 17 pounds of fat dropped from his body in 6 weeks through a specific combination of diet and training, so precisely calibrated that it became the foundation of everything he has maintained in the decades since. Here is what happened. Before filming Crank 2, Statham needed to reach a level of physical conditioning beyond anything he had previously achieved on screen. He brought in trainer Logan Hood, a former Navy SEAL whose approach to fitness was built on military performance standards rather than commercial gym culture. Hood's assessment was direct. The training was not the problem. The food was the problem. He put Statham on 2,000 calories per day, 6 small meals every 2 to 3 hours. No sugar, no flour, no fruit juice, no alcohol, nothing processed, nothing that the body could not use immediately and efficiently for performance or recovery. Statham has said, using words we have already mentioned, exactly what the training sessions felt like during those 6 weeks. The results spoke for themselves. 17 pounds. 6 weeks. That foundation became the template for everything that followed. The diet did not end after 6 weeks. The training did not stop after 6 weeks. What began as a transformation became a permanent operating system for a body that was no longer trying to look like an action star. It was one. Here is exactly what Jason Statham eats, every single day, documented from his trainer's records and his own interviews. 2,000 calories, 6 meals, every 2 to 3 hours, no exceptions. Meal 1, breakfast, 4-egg omelet, oats, seasonal fruit. The egg omelet delivers complete protein and healthy fat from the first meal. The oats provide slow-release complex carbohydrates that fuel the morning training session with stable, sustained energy. The seasonal fruit adds natural sugar, the only sugar that enters his body in an unprocessed form. Meal 2, mid-morning. A protein smoothie. Whey protein. Nuts. Blended together. Fast-absorbing protein post-training to begin muscle repair while the anabolic window is open. The nuts add healthy fat that slows absorption and extends satiety through to lunch. Meal 3, lunch. Chicken breast. Brown rice. Steamed vegetables. The anchor meal of the day. Complete lean protein, complex carbohydrate, fiber-rich vegetables, measured, consistent, never varied dramatically. Meal 4, afternoon snack, almonds, walnuts, and cashews, a banana. The nut combination delivers omega-3 fatty acids, healthy fat, and protein. The banana provides fast natural carbohydrate that refuels glycogen stores for the evening training session. Meal 5. Dinner. Fish, lean beef, or chicken. Salad dressed with olive oil. The evening protein source rotates, ensuring a variety of amino acid profiles and omega-3 content across the week. The olive oil provides anti-inflammatory polyphenols alongside the healthy fat that supports overnight hormone production. Meal 6. Post-dinner. Cottage cheese or Greek yogurt. Slow-digesting casein protein that feeds muscle repair throughout the overnight fasting period. The body's most intensive repair work happens during sleep. The casein ensures the amino acids are present for that repair from the moment sleep begins until the morning omelet arrives. What he avoids, completely, and without exception. Processed sugar. Flour in any form. Fruit juice. Alcohol. Anything in a packet designed to be convenient rather than functional. 3 liters of water daily throughout every day without exception. That is the complete daily picture. Simple. Consistent. Built for performance rather than pleasure. Repeated without variation 6 days a week for decades. 6 days. Here is the complete breakdown. Monday. The pyramid. The week opens with the most mentally demanding session of all. A pyramid workout that builds progressively in difficulty across every exercise. Starting at 1 rep and climbing to 7, then back down. No fixed rest. No comfortable rhythm. Rowing machine warm-up for 10 minutes. Then push-ups, pull-ups, bodyweight squats, stiff-legged deadlifts, and hanging knee raises, all pyramided through 7 increasing sets. Cool down on the rowing machine for 10 minutes. The pyramid forces every muscle to work at every point in its range, from light activation through to maximal effort, in a single session. Tuesday, strength and explosive power. The compound movements that build the raw strength underneath the athleticism. Flat bench press, shoulder military press, dumbbell chest fly, tricep work, bar dips, and kettlebell farmer holds. 4 sets of 10 repetitions each. Cool down on the rowing machine. This session builds the structural strength that every other session in the week draws from. Wednesday, high-intensity cardio and boxing. The session most men avoid, the one that delivers the cardiovascular conditioning that makes the other sessions possible. Rowing machine for 2,000 meters. Boxing intervals. Shadow boxing, heavy bag work, speed bag work. Kettlebell carries across 500 yards. 3 sets. No weights. Pure conditioning. The session that keeps the heart rate data moving in the right direction and the body fat percentage doing the same. Thursday, lower body and endurance. The legs. The foundation. The session that separates the people who train seriously from the people who train for aesthetics. Rowing machine warm-up 2,000 meters. Weighted front squats, 5 sets of 5 reps. Stiff-legged deadlifts. 4 sets at 130 to 180% of body weight. Reverse crunches, 5 sets of 20. 200 push-ups in a ladder routine to close the session. Friday, full body circuit, the most brutal session of the week. Rope climbs, bear crawls, crab crawls, medicine ball slams, everything left in the tank emptied onto the floor of the gym in one combined session that hits every muscle group simultaneously. Cool down. Light jogging or stretching. Weekend, active recovery. No weights, no gym, but never a couch. Light jogging. Swimming. Hiking. The body recovering while still moving. Because Statham's relationship with movement does not switch off at the weekend any more than his metabolism does. 6 days. Different every day. Every day complete. I need to stop here and say something about the fitness industry that every man over 50 watching this channel has been subjected to and deserves to hear named clearly. The fitness industry built specifically for men over 50 is one of the most sophisticated, misleading marketing operations in the world. Statham does not take testosterone supplements. He eats 6 structured meals of whole food every day. He trains with a former Navy SEAL using methods built on performance rather than aesthetics. He has been doing this consistently for 30 years. The consistency is the supplement. The food is the formula. Now the mindset detail that makes Jason Statham's approach more human and more applicable than most people realize. Because the image of Jason Statham is one of absolute, unbroken discipline. The interviewer asked him directly, "No cheat days?" He laughed. "What do my pancakes look like? I mean, I have cheat months. Believe me, I don't have a cheat day. If I'm going on holiday, every day is a holiday. I feast and I famine. I go up and down," he said. "I adapt to my nature. Sometimes I'm a little injured. And if you're injured and you're not training, your food choices get a little less intelligent. Comfort. That's what it's called. We all love it." Jason Statham eats comfort food when he is injured. He has cheat months when he goes on holiday. His discipline is not a rigid, unbroken line. That is not superhuman discipline. That is a system so deeply embedded in identity that the return to it after any break requires no willpower. It simply happens, because that is who he is. Building that identity, not the physique but the identity underneath it, is the real lesson of Jason Statham's fitness story. You are a person over 50 who wants to be stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more physically capable than the world expects you to be at your age. Here is how to apply Statham's system to that reality. The diet adaptation. 2,000 calories is Statham's number for his body weight and training volume. Your number will be different, but the structure translates directly. 6 small meals every 2 to 3 hours. Lean protein at every meal. Complex carbohydrates timed around exercise. More in the morning and at midday, less in the evening. Healthy fat at every meal from eggs, olive oil, nuts, or avocado. No processed sugar, no refined flour, no alcohol on training days. The training adaptation. 30 to 40 minutes of intense focused training is available to every person over 50, regardless of current fitness level. The specific exercises change. The principle does not. Vary every session. Include compound movements that recruit multiple muscles simultaneously. Include cardiovascular work that challenges the heart and lungs, not just the muscles. Include core work at every session. Rest actively on recovery days rather than resting completely. Start where you are. Your pyramid starts at 3 reps, not 7. Your deadlift starts at 50% body weight, not 180%. Your boxing session starts with shadow boxing, not a heavy bag. The mindset adaptation. Accept the feast and famine reality. You will have weeks where the food is not perfect and the training is inconsistent. That is not failure. That is life. The only failure is not returning to the system when the disruption passes. Build the return into your identity. Not the perfect execution. The return. Because Statham's system has survived cheat months and injury periods and holidays and 30 years of a career that demands physical inconsistency. It survived because the return was automatic. Make the return automatic, and everything else will follow one honest moment before the close. Jason Statham trained with a former Navy SEAL and described the sessions as brutal, nauseating, and horrible. He dropped 17 pounds in 6 weeks and has maintained the result for 30 years. He also has cheat months. He eats comfort food when he is injured. He is a human being with a system, not a machine with a program. That combination, the serious, disciplined foundation alongside the honest acknowledgement of human imperfection, is the most useful thing in his entire story. Senior Spring Vitality exists to give you both sides, Not the superhuman version that makes you feel inadequate. The real version that makes you feel capable. Subscribe right now. Hit the notification bell. And grab the free cookbook guide from the pinned comment. Real recipes built around exactly the food Statham eats every day. Leave one comment, drop your country, and tell us, how old are you, and which one of Statham's 8 rules are you applying to your training this week? We read every single one.